blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and text line at 833-212-1017. where you can call in and text in to the greatest 60 minutes in radio. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube, where you can give us a like, you can give us a share, you can give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows. Shout out to DJ Brother Z holding it down on the ones and the twos. And shout out to you, Truth Nation. Now, typically, we start off with the weekend recap, and boy, what a weekend it was! What a weekend it was! But today we're gonna bump the weekend recap until tomorrow. And trust me, we got to talk about some things because gun violence in Milwaukee once again it seems to be out of control. It's in a place where I do not like it to be. Truly a place where I do not like it to be. And this weekend we saw some tragic events, and we will discuss the tragic event that happened outside of the brand new music venue in the Deer District, which occurred after a rap concert. We most definitely will. Sorry, just doing something here. And so with that, though, we have to have a very serious conversation. A very serious conversation, because what happened over the weekend should be alarming. And it's not just about the music venue. It's also about an additional thing that happened at Aurora Sinai Hospital. And we're not just going to talk about the death that happened and the multiple deaths that happened. We're going to talk about emotions and reacting. Because what I heard of what happened outside of the new music venue in downtown Milwaukee in the Deer District, and what I heard at Aurora Sinai Hospital, and I'm going to continue to get more information, But it seems to me that reactions and emotions have led to tragic endings in people's lives. And we have to talk about that. So I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. But today, Truth Nation, I have to talk about something else. In Truth Nation, we have sent the Middle East into complete chaos. Multiple countries are being bombed right now, and civilians are running and fleeing in countries that have no desire to be involved in any conflict or any war. Like many of you, I woke up on Saturday morning and I looked at my phone and I said, oh my gosh, we have attacked Iran. I couldn't believe it. And our fellow Americans who on Friday night went to bed enjoying maybe a vacation in the beautiful Middle East, in one of the beautiful cities that they have there, now find themselves in fear and stranded in the Middle East. 4 brave American soldiers have lost their lives and hundreds of school children were killed in Iran on Saturday, and 9 hospitals have been bombed in Iran, all due to a choice made by the United States to start a war. Truth Nation, I'm gonna be very honest in this show today. And maybe, the title of this show will be the next words that I say. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers, but everything I do is based off of facts. And when I share these facts, don't think I don't appreciate and love my brother, my black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, but my fellow human being. But I will say this because this is a fact of the matter. Truth Nation, white men are the root of all modern evil. Keyword, modern evil. When you look around the globe where there is fighting, I can promise you the white man's horrific imperialism has played a role in the current unrest that you see in those countries. The United States of America started this. And when I say started this, I am not talking about the hostile act that we saw over the weekend where we jointly attacked Iran with Israel. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the long history that the United States have in meddling in Middle Eastern and Iran foreign affairs. That is what I'm speaking of. We as a country have helped destabilize Iran and have propped up an unpopular government with the Shah 70 plus years ago, 1953 to be exact. We did that. We threw a country into chaos back into the 50s, helping the UK at the time. The United States and Israel violated international law by bombing Iran this weekend. Truth Nation, our government saw an opening and they took it. And please do not get it confused. Don't for a second get it confused. Iran has an oppressive government, but so do we here in America. Now, not to the extent of Iran, but we here in America see some oppression on a day-to-day basis. Do y'all understand when you feel a certain way when them blue lights come on behind you or a cop gets behind you? That is called oppression. That's called trauma. When you see videos of people being hung from trees or understanding why, when growing up like me, when we took trips, my parents packed a lot of food inside the car, not because of the fear of being lynched in the 90s or the early 2000s, but because of what was passed on to them from their parents and grandparents. That is an oppressive state. We live in a country where Americans are killed by police brutality every year. We have a White House who is seeking to censor media or control the media. We have a White House who has withheld money from states and from colleges and universities over the fact that they disagree with these colleges and universities, and they use money as a tool to force these states and these colleges and universities to do what they want. They will hold states and cities and colleges and universities hostage by not giving them necessary funding to sustain themselves or to grow or potentially cure some type of disease that you see at these top-notch institutions because they disagree with something that they're doing. We literally have a president in President Trump who says he hates his enemies and even encouraged violence against protesters at his rallies. You've seen the videos before. We have a president where girls were being sexually assaulted by powerful men and they refuse to do anything about it. Truth Nation, that is oppression and that is corruption at its finest. We are the pot calling the kettle black. Just because our human rights violations are not as sickening or as egregious that you see in other countries, it does not absolve us. It doesn't mean that we still do not have oppressive and human rights crisis here in America. And I ask, this is all over what? What is this about? Thousands of lives lost for who? For what purpose? That's what I'm trying to understand. 833-212-1017. Truth Nation, help me understand why this is worth the sacrifice for our servicemen and women, and why is it worth the sacrifice of disrupting millions of lives across the globe and killing thousands of innocent people in the Middle East? Please help me understand why. That's what I don't get. 833-212-1017. And I want to address the claim that this war is to keep Iran from having nuclear weapons. And let's be very clear. I want to be very clear. Truth Nation, there is only one country in the history of this world to drop a nuclear bomb on another country. And that is the United States of America. We are that one country that is the biggest threat to society. Not based off my opinion, but simply based off the facts of history. So people may say, oh, nuclear arms. Not saying that's not a threat, but there is one country in this world to ever push the button, to ever say, go ahead and drop the bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We're the only ones to do that almost 100 years ago, but we're using the excuse of nuclear weapons when we're the only ones to use those. 833-212-1017. Truth Nation, do you support this United States military operations in Iran right now? 833-212-1017. The biggest question I have that I discussed back in June of 2025, when we first, quote unquote, bombed Iran, which we did, and we claimed that we destroyed their nuclear capabilities, and now all of a sudden they're back. But are we safer because of these attacks here in America? I asked the question in June of 2025, and now in March of 2026, I asked that same question. Are you safer as an American because of what we just did this weekend? Are we safer as a world because of what we just did this weekend? How do we benefit from this? 833-212-1017. Is the risk worth the reward? I want to hear from y'all because I just don't understand the why. I don't understand the reason. 4 United States military service men and women were killed and 18 have been seriously wounded. For what? Is it about ego? Is it about power? Is it about influence? What is it about? This is not a game, this is war. And remember, we need to hold our politicians accountable. And I am one that holds politicians accountable 100%. I will talk about politicians on a local level, a state level, and a national level. And if a politician campaigned on releasing files, I expect them to release the files with no pushback. If a politician campaigned on keeping America out of wars, no new wars, well, dang it, I expect us not to have new wars. For those who voted for this man in the White House in this current administration, he told you no new wars. And look at us now. At what point will you start holding him accountable? At what point will you speak out? At what point will you say, I don't agree with this? Because at the end of the day, my vote, my voice, it matters, but my vote doesn't matter because I chose the losing team. Those who chose the winning team, you are the only one that has most of the power to say no mas, no more. By threatening to withhold your vote, we can protect United States military men and women who are out trying to protect us, the brave souls. It is up to you now. But Truth Nation, you were lied to by the President of the United States in his own words. He told you no wars, and that's what we got. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Walls. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. You can watch the stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube, where you can give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. But Truth Nation, tell me, are we safer in America today than what we were 2 years ago? This Truth to Power with Kyle Walls. We'll have more on the other side.
I will tell you, you're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. That I can tell you. I will tell you, you're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. That I can tell you.
Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Thank you, Milwaukee. Because of you, the second annual Truth Community Awards was an unforgettable celebration of the leaders, changemakers, and heroes who make our city shine. A special thank you to our incredible partners, Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Cousins Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Together, we're celebrating community, culture, and impact. We'll see you next year at the Truth Community Awards.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because we know you love working weekends, if it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and since 1927, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection, all so you are free to enjoy your dreams. Make sure y'all visit amfam.com today to find an agent near you, or get a quote instantly online. It is so easy by going to amfam.com today. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Visit amfam.com today to find an agent near you or get a quote instantly online. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. We can call in and text in to share your thoughts on today's show. In addition to that, You can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube, where we have a poll question up there. Do you support the war in Iran? I think that's a simple poll to get the sentiment of how Truth Nation is feeling, how those in Milwaukee are feeling, those who are listening to our wonderful station on the YouTubes. But again, you can join in on today's conversation at 833-212-1017. And Truth Nation, I just want to emphasize that Americans lost their lives in a war that may be built on lies. It may be. Right now, they're still working out whether or not, because they said there was a preemptive strike, but then also the Pentagon said they didn't have enough evidence to show that there was a preemptive strike that Iran was planning on doing. And I asked you all at 833-212-1017, is this war worth the families who received their loved ones in caskets draped with American flags? Is it worth that? Now, while we watch the media sensationalize this war, because that's what's going to happen, it's going to be a sensationalization of this war. There are families who are stressed beyond belief about what will come of their brave soldiers. This isn't just about a video or just the image of war. This is the reality faced for millions of people. This is tragic and this is sad. That's where I really want to focus on, is the fact that war has consequences, and the consequences many times can't be reversed. Whether you lose a limb or lose a life, those things can't be reversed. The trauma that may be carried with you after this cannot be reversed. Truth Nation, we have sent the Middle East into complete chaos. Multiple countries have been dragged into this. Multiple countries are being bombed right now. I don't think we can fathom. Imagine here in America if Illinois, Michigan, Texas, Mississippi, South Carolina, West Virginia, Oregon, we're all dropping bombs on one another. Or we're getting bombs dropped on them from a central place. It's crazy. And I'm trying to understand what it was all for. And the biggest thing that bothers me is that I truly believe that civilians are being bombed and people are fleeing their home for what I believe to be a lie. And when I say that, is I ask that question because Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the prime minister of Israel, has made claims that Iran is close to developing nuclear weapons year after year after year. Now, again, I don't know. In my personal belief, do I believe that Iran has capabilities? I do. But the fact of the matter would show that there has not been a time in the history of this world that anybody has displayed their nuclear capabilities outside of the United States of America almost 100 years ago. But go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube to see the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in his history of making claims that Iran is very close to having nuclear capabilities, despite the fact that Israel has nuclear capabilities. Don't nobody like anybody that says we can have this, but you can't. We feel like we're safe with this, but you can't have that. That doesn't make any sense. How your neighbor gonna say I can build a 10-foot fence, but you can only build an 8-foot fence? What sense does that make? You can't have what I can. But go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube to see what's being pushed and peddled for decades by Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, or turn up your radio or turn up the Truth app to hear this.
Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
That goes back to 1995, Truth Nation. Iran, in the next 3 to 5 years, will have the capabilities to have nuclear bombs. That was in 1995. In 2006, they said they were within a decade to produce 250 nuclear bombs. We are now in 2026, and we are hearing this exact same rhetoric. The young kids would call this gaslighting. I would call it pure fear-mongering. Iran's current regime, which has been in place since 1979, is oppressive, and they have killed thousands of their people. And recently, they killed thousands of protesters and bad actors, because I believe it was some bad actors inside of there that, you know, they had peaceful protests for 8 days, and then all of a sudden, these bad actors that understand that our government does place bad actors in place to incite riots. That's just what happens. And there was tragedy that struck Iran. And personally, I want people to be liberated. I want people to be free everywhere in this world. And we as a country at this moment should be focused on America first and not sending our brave men and women into war. Because that's exactly what this is. It's unnecessary. And it's not about protecting America, but more about building a legacy for one man to say he was the man that took out Iran. I can assure you nobody, and I mean nobody, wants the smoke from the United States military. We are a powerhouse, an overwhelming powerhouse. We can't be stopped. We're a dominant force. That's what we are. The thing is, we're the big bad bully that talk the talk, walk the walk, and we back it all up. That's what we are. Don't nobody want to deal with that. But mark my words, more bad will come from this than good. The hate that will be embedded in the Iranian people because of the mothers and fathers and sisters that we killed and brothers that we killed and cousins that we killed, the hate will fester. It will. The stock market is already dropping. Gas prices are already on the rise. Energy prices have surged 40% in Europe. And worst of all, human lives are being lost on all sides. I ask everybody to pray for everyone. I pray for everyone. I pray for our soldiers who are sacrificing their lives. And I'm sorry for those families who worry about their soldiers, the sleepless nights, the anxiety, the stress, the depression, just worried about the safety of a loved one. I repeat, wars have consequences. They always do. They cannot be reversed. Because of this, children will lose a parent. Mothers and fathers will lose a child. Husbands and wives will be lost. Will this be worth it? Trump did something no other president was willing to risk. The destabilization of the Middle East, but also the destabilization of a Middle Eastern power like Iran. We have no real off-ramp. That's what you're hearing right now. There's no real off-ramp. 833-212-1017. I ask again, do you agree with these attacks? Is America safer after this? There are such things as sleeper cells here in America, which means basically our enemy is on American ground right now. And at any given moment, they can wreak havoc and cause chaos here in America. You saw this weekend a mass shooting in Austin, Texas, where 3 people were killed and 14 were injured by a man who may have been inspired because of what was happening in Iran. They're currently investigating that. He was a Muslim individual from an African nation, and they're investigating whether or not the death of the Ayatollah Khamenei played a role in that. Truth Nation, we bombed a girls' school in Iran, killing over 100 women and children. Do y'all think they really gonna let that slide? Do y'all really think that that's gonna be, they're gonna just say, oh, that's okay, we gonna embrace these Americans? No. Imagine if that happened in America. And granted, this is interesting to talk about because people get killed in America in these school shootings, but people do nothing about it. But imagine if somebody bombed a school in America. We would be outraged. We would want revenge. All this killing, this war, this nonsense for one man's legacy and one man's ego is not worth the lives of children. Israel and America have wreaked havoc on the Middle East for such a long time. But specifically, for the last 2 years, they have wreaked havoc on the Middle East in the children and women and people. In Truth Nation, we must look to the past to inform us for the future, because we saw what happened in Iraq, did we not? We saw what happened in Afghanistan. We saw how those all ended. They didn't end well for us. It took years. It took lives. American casualties were had in both instances. For what? Iran is a huge country, and simply bombing it without any ground presence is illogical and is not off the table, according to Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary. We were told that the nukes were obliterated 8 months ago. That's what we were told. We said they wiped them out, and now here we are bombing them again to stop them from developing nuclear weapons. It doesn't make sense to me. And we should be sick of seeing our soldiers being used as pawns in a poorly planned attack. We got impatient, and now Americans have paid the price with their lives. And more will die. Our brave men and women will come home in body bags. This is not hyperbolic. This is not an exaggeration. This is not me being biased or me fear-mongering. This is me using and quoting the words of President Trump himself. The draft dodger in chief told us that he is sacrificing lives of those who we love and appreciate with no clear end in sight. We will stop when we're ready to stop. He set out some objectives that he had, but initially he told people we need a regime change. We need a regime change. He asked for the Iranian people to take the streets and take their country back. This is the moment in time. That's what he originally said. Yes, we eliminated some evil people, but we may have awakened even more evil. 833-212-1017. This is simply devastating. Absolutely devastating. Do you agree with the text? 833-212-1017. Callie, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your comments on the unfortunate events of war happening in the Middle East?
How you doing, Kyle? What's going on, brother? So here's my thing. I'm old enough to remember Desert Storm. And I know we went over there for the same exact thing, and it just seems like a repeated record. We've already seen this rhetoric go on. We've seen this happen. Most of us that are millennials have seen this happen. The thing is, and I'm going to just be completely honest, Kamala said this was going to happen. People just sitting there acting like this woman did not warn you and tell you that this man was going to do this. And everything that she said he was going to do, he has done, literally. I don't even call him president. I call him pull-ups because he acts like a child. I'm just tired. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of his cronies. I'm tired of the people that want to support this man. We have no reason to be doing anything to anybody. I know this goes way deeper than just oil. I don't even want to get into it because I know you ain't got a lot of time. But I'm just sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of this man. I'm sick and tired of this country because this country will forever sit here and vote against its own best interest every single freaking time. The literal reason why Kamala's not in office has nothing to do with nothing else, but she's a woman and she's black. It has nothing to do with nothing else. There's no reason why this man is in this office, but yet people sit here because they didn't want to see a black woman, because she is a black woman, didn't want to see her sit in that seat talking about, oh, she's going to take us to war. Well, what is this guy doing? He's the same exact thing. Like, I'm just sick and tired of this country. I'm going to just be honest with you. That's my 2 cents, man. You have a good one, bro.
I appreciate you, Callie, and I share that same frustration that you have. I really do, because this was extremely unnecessary. It wasn't necessary. This is something that I just want people to understand this. If y'all think for a second that America and Israel haven't been tracking the Ayatollah, haven't been tracking generals for years now, you're crazy. If you think that Joe Biden, President Trump the first time, President Obama, if you think that they didn't have the capabilities to be able to take out leadership in Iran, you're fooling yourself. This was just a decision made by this administration that is war hungry. They get their manhood and masculinity from wreaking havoc and having power. Trump joked about the war might go for 3 to 4 more weeks. I don't mind, I don't really mind war. The clear objective should be get in, get out. But unfortunately, we stepped ourselves into something that there is no clear path. I'm telling y'all this right now. This is not going to be like Iraq. This is not going to be like Afghanistan. This is going to be much worse. You are facing a country that has phenomenal weapons. Now, I ain't got our stuff, but they have phenomenal weapons. You know how good their weapons are? It's the fact that they were able to kill Americans and they're able to literally wreak havoc on the region. They are bombing different countries in the region. That is the capabilities. We went up against a powerhouse in Iran that we will defeat, but we don't know what victory looks like. And that is a problem. When you don't know what victory looks like and you're willing to sacrifice the men and women who protect us every single day that many of us know and are relatives to, that is a problem. That is what should infuriate you. They don't have a concrete plan for what is next. They're flying by the seat of their pants. They're organized to a sense, but ideally they wanted a regime change, and they can see that is slowly falling out of their grasp of their hands. But 833-212-1017. I'll take your calls. I'll take your texts next. You can continue to watch and stream us live on YouTube. As I ask the question, is America really safer after the attacks on Iran? This is Truth to Power, Kyle Walls. We'll have more next.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dad's gonna be far side, good.
What should I do with my dress?
Do little wiggles.
The slate's coming in.
What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
You're just in tears in the huddle. I didn't know what to do.
Teachers need tons of help.
Kids Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts, because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Thank you, Milwaukee. Because of you, the second annual Truth Community Awards was an unforgettable celebration of the leaders, changemakers, and heroes who make our city shine. A special thank you to our incredible partners, Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Cousins Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Together, we're celebrating community, culture, and impact. We'll see you next year at the Truth Community Awards.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
This Truth Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The Bucks blow a second-half lead against the Chicago Bulls on Sunday, losing 120-97. Bucks only scored 8 points in the third quarter. Doc Rivers after the game.
When you approach the game and play like that, you don't deserve to win. If we had won the game, I'd have been upset. I'd have taken the win because we need it. But that is not how you play basketball.
Bucks are back at it tonight at the Pfizer to play the second-seed Celtics at 6:30. Brewers lost their spring training game 3-1 against the Royals. Their next game is Tuesday against Great Britain. It's March, so let the tournaments begin. The Horizon League tournament begins this week with UWM heading to face the Detroit Mercy for a spot in the Corvette Coliseum next week. Tip-off is at 6 on Wednesday. Badger basketball plays Maryland and Marquette plays Providence on Wednesday. Big Ten and Big East tournaments begin next week. I'm Nazir Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update powered by ESPN Milwaukee.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
During Steinhoffel's Make It Your Own event, creating furniture that fits your style is easy. You could choose your fabric, select your finish, and add the details that make it yours. Right now at Steinhoffel's, you'll save at least 10% off store-wide. Then you can take an extra 5% off special orders in in-stock items $9.99 or more. And if you need design help, you can get up to $200 off Steinhoffel's decorating solution packages. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. That is steinhoffels.com. Y'all know I love my mattress from Steinhoffels and my couch. 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power, and we're talking about the fact that we right now have a conflict in the Middle East. And the objectives don't seem very clear. But what I do know is I don't think, based off the objectives that we laid out, the sacrifice will be worth it. Because the enemy that we have in Iran, and they are our enemy, don't get it twisted now. I am not a supporter of the Iranian government, and I am not sitting here crying tears for any type of bad things that happen to him. Now, I do think that it should be in God's hands. I don't believe in war. But I do understand that you have a government that is terrorizing his people, some of his people, not all, and oppressing his people. But hell, we have oppression right here in America too. 833-212-1017. I ask everybody is, do you feel safer today? Do you agree with what happened? You can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Do you support the U.S. going to war with Iran? Yes or no? 833-212-1017. But you can also go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube to vote in that poll. Jay, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on today's conversation?
What up, brother? How you doing?
Blessed. Thank you so much.
My thoughts are this, man, to be honest with you. I mean, you seem like a very educated person. We did this in the 50s to Iran, right?
1953, we infiltrated them and we removed their leader at that time and put in the Shah, who became an oppressive leader and eventually got pushed out with the Iranian Revolution in 1979.
See, I know you know, and the reason we did that is because they tried to do what to their oil?
Well, I mean,
they tried to nationalize their oil.
Okay, well,
same thing as Venezuela.
Nationalize,
so right now,
got it. Nationalize, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So basically, what's happening? I mean, we know our dollar's not based on anything, right? There's no gold standard. But right now in the country, in the world, you can't buy oil with anything but $1. If that happens, if you don't get to buy oil with $1, this country crumbles. And so to be honest with you, this is predictable. It's going to happen. If Kamala got in, she would have to do it too. So the truth is, this is a money move. It hasn't had nothing to do with the people of Iran. That's for the news. But for those who really understand the game right now, this is for the dollar to keep its power. The moment China and India can buy oil without that dollar, your dollar is basically going to be 10 cents. And I don't think anybody wants to see that inflation. So that's really the move. Do I agree with it? I don't matter enough for my agreement to even matter. But that's really the truth. It's a money move for oil and to make the dollar strong.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jay. I mean, everybody has their thoughts and opinion. And at 833-212-1017, you can always call in to share your thoughts and opinion. Appreciate you, Jay. Al, I'm sure you have a lot to say on this.
Well, first of all, we got the most uneducated caveman mentality making the move. And if it's a money move, why is America constantly going down the sewer? I don't think that was a money move. That to me, this is like an addict move, because everybody's laughing all the way to the bank except the people who voted. And look at China. China is for its people. This person who's of the United States is for himself. There's a difference. When you think like a caveman, you're going to get caveman situations. You can't go to China or any other of these places, cave in a big old say, yeah, when they have created things that we don't even know how to use yet. So we are already at the belly of the beast. So we got to get this person out. But then again, y'all voted for him because he's white. You didn't vote for him because he's educated. You voted for him because he's white. And then you got innocent people dying. This same person who said any person go to the service is a loser and they got nothing to gain yet. He ain't never served in the service. But yet, the people in the United States is going to die. And ain't none of his kids on the front line.
Barron can go. Barron is young. If Barron can go, and that's one thing. Say what you want about Joe Biden, but Joe Biden's son, went to war.
And on top of that, when you look at history, the king and the whole family was on the front line. Not in the bunkers and sniffing cocaine off the toilet seat where you can get MRSA and the staph infection. Y'all have yourself a good day.
You too, Al. Al's not lying about the sniffing cocaine off a toilet seat. RFK Jr. said he sniffed cocaine off a toilet seat, so people shouldn't be afraid of germs, because he's definitely what I want to grow up to be. But 833-212-1017. There's a lot of complexities that come to this. And I do want to emphasize the fact that I do want people to understand is that when you see stuff in the news and you see the celebration, because you will see a celebration, and I'll talk about that later, but understand there's always two sides. But Truth Nation, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Brother Z, would you call me a conspiracy theorist? I don't really have too many conspiracies. Usually I base it off of fact. But I do have a conspiracy based off October 7th of 2023 when Hamas militant group attacked Israel. I think we were duped by Israel, and I think Israel sacrificed the lives of their people back on October 7th. When those Hamas fighters crossed the border, I believe it was a setup. I believe Israel knew it was coming and they allowed it to come. Because you mean to tell me that the same government that has infiltrated other governments, and as you have seen, they infiltrated the Iranian government so much where they were able to potentially have like dentists and doctors and inside and working with some of the most powerful people that they knew every single move they had. They had the ability to track these people. They had the ability last year to set off, or maybe it was in 2024, where they had the ability to set off beepers and pagers and explode at a certain time at once, killing people. They have a sophisticated and highly strategic defense system, but somehow some random rebels on motorbikes were able to come across the most secure border in the world and wreak havoc on Israelis, kidnap them without being detected or stopped. Come on, y'all. Y'all really think that Israel did not just allow that to happen? You see the destruction that they can cause. They are the most powerful country in the Middle East. Every war needs a reason. And allowing Hamas to execute their plan of coming and kidnapping Israelis and killing Israelis was part of Israel's plan because they needed to justify going to war. Israel knew what they wanted. They wanted a regime change in Iran. And to do so, they needed to prepare for it. They needed to remove the enemy next to them on the Gaza Strip, because if you're fighting, you can't be fighting on all fronts. So Israel strategically took the last 2 years to eliminate all enemies in the Gaza Strip. They knew what they were doing. They took their arms. Why? It's because they understood what they were preparing for. They understood when the time was right to attack Iran, they did not want to have to worry about being attacked on multiple fronts, because you just saw what happened from Lebanon when Hezbollah, another militant group, who attacked them, now they're attacking Beirut and attacking Lebanon. Israel is. This was all done by design. This was always their goal. They finally found a president who will support throwing the Middle East into chaos and destabilizing our world markets. They finally found their one. 833-212-1017 on the Truth Talking text line. Daphne said, the guy that Trump administration wanted to put in the regime change also died when the supreme leader was killed. You are correct. They have no concrete plan, and unfortunately, we American people will have to prop up and support their government, which can take years, if we get the opportunity to do that. We've been there, done that before, and what happened? We found ourselves with hostages. I'm telling y'all this right now. The thing that really sickens me about all of this is the fact that for real, there is no real end goal. There is no real plan. History is repeating itself. And men and women who are brave and overseas are going to be the ones that die from this. Trump said more of them will die. That's the sad part. And I'm being so honest. For what? To keep a country from dropping a nuke on us that wouldn't dare, that has not dropped a nuke on us before? Why are we fighting other countries' wars? America hasn't been bombed by a foreign military, since the 1940s. We are in one of the safest, most isolated places that is surrounded by the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. And y'all telling me I need to fear Iran? Make that make sense. We're sacrificing our men and women for the protections of others and not us, we here. Like on the talking text line, we don't need to be in other people's business. We don't need to be in other people's business. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube. By going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, you can give us a like, you can give us a share. You can also take the poll. Do you want the U.S. do you support the U.S. going to war in Iran? That is on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. When we come back, I'll leave you with my final thoughts. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. If we continue to recap the fact that we are now at a war that is projected to last 4 to 5 weeks, but can go longer, in the words of the president. He said a war with Iran. That is what we are in. And who really wins? Because I don't think it's the American people.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Walls, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube, where you give us a like, share, and a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows. We have a poll up on YouTube that you can go to. It's asked, do you support the U.S. going to war with Iran? 17% yes, 83% no, and I think that is a similar vibe that you see across this country. Now, what confuses me is that we're going to this war because of the nuclear capabilities of Iran. I don't know what their capabilities are. But what I do know is that our United States government claimed back in June, our defense secretary and our president claimed back in June, they claimed that we took out Iran's nuclear program. They said totally obliterated. That's what they said. This ain't my words. It's totally obliterated. Now, when I think of obliteration, I think of destroyed, gone, not a concern. But only you have to fast forward 8 months later, and we find ourselves in a war because of the concern that they could have a nuclear weapon. That just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense to me. And let me just leave y'all with this, Truth Nation. If the Iranian people don't become unified, I don't know what we can do to unify them. Because right now, they are not one unified voice. Y'all got to understand the history is that they topple one government to get another government that is in place now. That's what they did. That is the history of them. They go back and forth. And yes, you see people celebrating in the streets. Some are celebrating because they are happy with the potential regime change. They see hope in the removal of the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. But then in addition to that, Truth Nation, on the other side, there are others who are mourning the loss of the Ayatollah Khamenei. That's how politics works. That's how leadership works. There are always two sides. And don't act like America will be any different. If someone toppled our government currently and the administration currently and removed President Trump, you know good and dang well some of y'all in America will be in the streets dancing right now too. Hitting y'all two-step. Y'all know that to be a fact.
1, 2, 3, ho.
That is the truth. So don't let the opinion of few paint the narrative for all and for everyone. And I said it last June and I'll say it again. America is less safe because of this. We attacked more than a country, Truth Nation. We struck a regime that now believes it is fighting for its very survival and existence. They see this fight as a fight for sovereignty. And when you're facing an enemy who feels like they have nothing to lose, that is dangerous. When backs are against the wall, people swing hard, and they don't always care who gets hurt in the process, and that is exactly what you are seeing from the Iranian government and military. That is exactly who we are up against. That is a dangerous foe to have. Truth Nation, this has been Truth to Power with Kyle Walls on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thank y'all so much for joining us. The Tory Lowe Show is up next from 1 to 4. Peace out, Truth Nation. I will see y'all and talk to y'all tomorrow.
And I don't want it so when I said Gemini, that funky soul.